Is it just me, or is every single top football team trying to play high-pressure, possession-based football? I mean, Barcelona, Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Napoli, or any other top-tier team, it all seems like they're playing the same style of football with their own little twist put on it. But what if I told you there was a top team that doesn't do any of that? In fact, they defy every aspect of modern football. They defy analytics, they hate possession, and they barely high press. The team is Union Berlin, and they are currently third place in the German Bundesliga, and they are about to become your favorite weird football team. Do you hate the new fancy football analytics? Expected goals? No thanks. Expected threat? Nope. Expected goals chain per 90 minutes? I don't even know what that is. Luckily, our new favorite weird team, Union Berlin, also hates analytics. The analytics say that they should have 32 expected goals, which is second lowest in the Bundesliga. Nah, Union Berlin have scored 44 goals and overperformed their expected goals by 12. 36 expected goals against? Nice try, number people, but Union Berlin has only let in 31 goals this season, the lowest in the Bundesliga. Union Berlin have even outperformed their expected assist figures by 11 assists. The best part about Union Berlin is that you'll never see their fans crying on Twitter about losing a match even though they had a higher XG than the other team. That's because they never have a higher XG in their matches. In 17 out of their 29 Bundesliga matches so far, they have lost on expected goals, even though they have 16 wins. On top of all of it, the numbers and expected points say that Union Berlin should be in 13th place out of 18 in the Bundesliga. And right now, they're in third. Union Berlin continues to beat the analytics that say they shouldn't be this good, but something that they don't keep is the ball. I said this earlier, but it feels like every good team nowadays just wants to have as much possession as possible. Not Union Berlin. Their idea is that they can't make mistakes with the ball if they never have it. Union Berlin currently average 43% possession, which is the second lowest in the entire Bundesliga. And you might be thinking, oh, Union Berlin might lose the possession battles against the good teams like Bayern Munich and win it against the worst teams. But no, Union Berlin hates possession in every match. They played Stuttgart, who are currently in the relegation zone, and they won 3-0 a few weeks ago. Stuttgart had 62% possession that game, but it gets even better. Union Berlin have only had more possession than their opponent in 9 out of their 29 Bundesliga games. Their win percentage in those games? 33%. When Union Berlin have less possession, they have a 65% win percentage. Union Berlin genuinely gets better results when they have less of the ball. Crazy. The last thing that it seems like every winning team needs is a high pressing scheme. But Union Berlin really hates to press. They really do. Union Berlin has the lowest PPDA in the Bundesliga. And I know you're probably already a Union Berlin fan and hate analytics, but a higher PPDA basically means a less intense press. This press is so not intense, it is the least intense high press in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. In an age where the best teams like Liverpool, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona all strive for the lowest PPDA numbers and the highest intense press, Union Berlin are doing the opposite. It's because they aren't like the other girls, they're quirky. There is a metric that the analyst provides called zones of control, which basically takes data and says, here is where a team is touching the ball more than their opponents. Red means that the other team has more control, blue is Union Berlin, and gray is where the play is contested. Union Berlin give up possession in most of the pitch, but typically only defend those hugely important spaces around their goal. For reference, top teams like Dortmund and Bayern Munich typically have maps like this where they control the play in almost all of the pitch. Union Berlin even win most of the games where they don't control the majority of the pitch. So if Union Berlin doesn't press and they don't keep possession, how are they supposed to attack? You might think they are really good at fast counterattacks, but they don't do that either. Looking at this graph by the analyst on how teams attack, a team's attack can usually be described in 2 ways. The first is fast and direct, which comes from a fast direct speed and few passes per attack. Or their attack can be described as slow and intricate, with a lot of passes and not as quick direct attack towards goal. You can see Dortmund and Bayern Munich over towards the slow and intricate side, which makes sense, and they're in that corner with the other of the few top table sides. And a majority of the bottom tier teams in the Bundesliga are towards the fast and direct corner because they tend to counterattack. So whereas Union Berlin, they are the only team that is hugely in the nobody is sure what this kind of attack is corner of the map. It doesn't even seem to have a label because nobody is quite sure how they attack. Compared to the rest of the teams in Europe's top 5 leagues, nobody else is in this quadrant as much as Union. Nobody attacks quite like Union Berlin does. Here's a quick guide on Union Berlin's playstyle. When defending, Union Berlin will usually sit in their own half and dominate the midfield. You know when you pass a house and they have a dog outside that will bark and attack you if you get too close? That is basically how Union defend their midfield. Once the other team approaches their midfield in the build-up, they intelligently press hard as to make it incredibly tough for the opponent to progress past their midfield. You'll even see Union's defenders often jumping to press in the midfield to prevent the other team from progressing. This is why a majority of Union Berlin games look like this, and they are played around this part of the pitch where Union Berlin's midfield sits. And once you make a mistake is where Union Berlin will punish you. They will find one of their strikers making a run in behind, or find a quick player who has snuck into the outside to put in a dangerous cross. They make these incredibly hard goals look easy, hence why they continue to overperform their expected goal figures. When Union Berlin are in possession, they aren't afraid to bang it long, because once again, they can't make mistakes with the ball if they don't have it. It's a very risk-averse footballing style. The most deadly part of Union Berlin is their set pieces. Tied for the most set piece goals in the Bundesliga with 15, Union Berlin also found a way to outperform their set piece XG with great execution set pieces whenever their opponent gives away a dangerous set piece or a corner kick. If you needed any more reasons to support Union Berlin, it's probably that most Bundesliga fans don't even understand how they are this good. They also hate playing against Union Berlin, which is always a good sign that your favorite team is legit. Most Union Berlin fans themselves don't even know how they're this good. They simply believe that this team has got that dog in them. Plus, Union Berlin was in European competition this season, and most likely will be next season, unlike some of your other friends' favorite teams. So if you're looking for a cool team to support in the Bundesliga, but don't want to choose one of the other favorites like Dortmund or Bayern, or you just want a cool, unique team to root for, look no farther than Union Berlin.